On today's show,
we'll debate the biggest winners from the entire 2017 postseason.
Categories include MVP, breakout player, best dunk, and funniest presser.
All that, plus we'll revisit some of our favorite NBA Finals moments.
The Starters Playoff Award Show starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV, or a little bit later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Basketball does not stop.
To his right, it's the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily. And last, certainly not least, over yonder, it is the bearded one. That's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
All right, yes, the finals are over, but the Starters, we're just getting started.
Are we?
You like that? No, we're about done too. But we're not done tonight because we got something fun in store. A special Starters Playoff Awards edition of What You Got. Trey's going to hit us with a number of postseason awards and nominees. We're going to debate the winner, but you got to be careful, of course. There's only one right answer. That's whatever TK says it is. So, Trey, what's our first playoff award?
We're starting with the granddaddy of them all, playoff MVP. Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors is your first nominee. He's joined by his teammate, Kevin Durant, also of champion Warriors. Also joining them is LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And rounding out the bunch is Kawhi Leonard of the San Antonio Spurs. Guys, those are the nominees for playoff MVP. What you got?
This is tough. But in the end, I'm going with LeBron James. Now, I know KD got the best of LeBron in the finals, but overall, big picture, throughout these 2 months of the postseason, LeBron was better. He did more. He scored more, rebounded more, assisted more, was a better playmaker. He played more, 6 minutes per game. And sort of like Russell Westbrook and James Harden, who are the MVP nominees of the regular season, I'm giving it to the guy who did more for his team overall despite not getting the trophy.
Do you agree with that?
I do, yeah. It was a very, very tough call for me because Durant does walk away ultimately with the trophy, and he was the best player on the championship team. But if you look at it at the overall spectre, LeBron led the playoffs in points, assists, steals, minutes, second in rebounds, third in blocks, shot 56% from the floor, 41% from downtown, and really sucked the life out of three teams as well, being the Pacers, the Raptors, and the Celtics. And, I mean, he pushed his team, the Cavs, against this incredible Warriors juggernaut. Obviously, when he sat, the Cavs almost fell apart every single time. Whilst LeBron was on the ground, on the floor, he was the best player in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Does anything change if we don't have Curry and Durant as two nominees of these four here? If it's, let's
Not
just say
to me.
Durant and someone else is in there instead of Curry?
No, we just needed to fill out that quadrant of four nominees. That's what it is, right?
I gotcha.
Don't you-
Graphics reasons.
Yeah, graphics reasons. Winner, graphics reasons. I think you can obviously make a case for KD because he got the best of LeBron in the finals. KD's game picked up big time and had to pick up big time in the finals. His numbers jumped incredibly from rounds 1, 2, 3 to 4. But LeBron, that's just a mean shot, showing LeBron slipping on the ground there. That being said, I think LeBron, very much like the MVP debate we have every single season, and we see LeBron run through everybody in the postseason. He maybe doesn't show it all during the regular season, but, I think most of the world is still giving him the title of the best player in the world.
Yeah, I agree.
We also are overlooking Steph Curry in this conversation.
Sure.
So 28, 6 and 6, 50, 40, 90 basically in the playoffs. And again, underrated in the playoffs as he was underrated in the season.
But that's because a lot of people think he's not the best player on his team.
Yeah, but he's
anymore.
a two-time MVP. Let's not forget that.
I get it, but then KD joined his team and he's not the best player. I mean, some people still disagree with that.
Yeah.
They still think it's Curry, and a lot of the success of the Warriors and even Durant is because of what Curry opens up. But I think it
how
can
much
also
of
be
that-
the case that Durant's a better basketball player on both ends of the floor.
But how much of that as well for Durant is enables him to be the player he is because he's got Steph out on the floor as well.
I get it. I get it. It goes hand in hand. To
Yeah.
me though, I like that, we are sort of debating here between the three of the guys that were ultimately in the finals. The biggest what if really is Kawhi Leonard. What if he doesn't get injured there in that game against the Warriors? I mean, they probably win that game. Maybe it's a more competitive series. His numbers were through the roof. He led the postseason in player efficiency rating, obviously some less games because of the injury, but his impact on both ends of the floor. I mean, the league is in pretty good hands here when we're debating this. I love that.
Yeah. I think, just to get back to Steph quickly, people just don't give him enough credit because they see KD go there and be the number one guy. Steph was the number 2 guy on that team. I think that's clear. But 27 and 9.5 assists. I mean, they took the ball out of his hands. He assisted a lot more, but he was the far better second player than Kyrie was for LeBron James. Steph played out of his head. Those numbers are great. Those are his best finals numbers, actually, in terms of scoring, because he was healthy.
Ultimately, I think we all are going LeBron, but what's the answer, Trey?
Oh, come on. It's obviously LeBron.
Okay.
He's still the best player in the world. Had his best 5-game stretch ever against a team that might be the best ever. Got to be LeBron. But our next category is Breakout Player of the Playoffs, and here are the nominees. Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Bucks averaged 25, 10, and 4. Mike Conley of the Grizzlies averaged a career playoff high 25. Gordon Hayward of the Jazz went for 24 a game. And John Wall of the Wizards averaged 27 and 10 assists per game, guys. Those are the nominees for Breakout Player of the Playoffs. What you got?
I'm going with Giannis. Ooh. I know it was only one series, but he started off incredibly well. And after 3 games of that series, we thought that the Bucks maybe were on the brink of a big upset, and it was all because of him. The Raptors figured out a way to maybe slow him down, but in those last 2 games, again, even though the Bucks lost those, Giannis gave us a taste of what we can expect in these next 5 to 10 years.
Did he not start the All-Star game, though?
Yeah, he did.
And it wasn't really truly a breakout. The entire season was a breakout.
Hayward and Wall were in the All-Star game as well.
I get that, but we've been talking about the Greek Freak all season long. The entire year was a breakout, and he's very going to likely win the real most improved. That's my counter to the postseason.
But again, he had to step up in the playoffs, and I think he did, even though the Bucks got done by the Raptors in the end. The Raptors' experience showed, but Giannis was a handful, and he was virtually impossible to stop. What I also liked about him is he understood that he had to get inside and use his athleticism and his length to score baskets. Those jump shots don't fall so much in the playoffs, and he did that. So he did his part for his team. I just think the Bucks' inexperience overall caught up with them.
For a breakout star for me, you make your name known across the globe. And yes, I know the Bucks only played the Raptors and maybe didn't have a long series. A lot of people weren't watching them. That being said, I think he sort of transcends everything as a 22-year-old. His name was known. Mike Conley, too old. You can't get this award. Gordon Hayward, a fantastic playoffs, but sort of the same thing. Like, he didn't really transcend anything to me. John Wall, we know who he is, and he didn't really meet expectations. I think that plays a part.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he was phenomenal, but a lot of people were saying, and rightfully so, that they would be able to handle the Cleveland Cavaliers to some degree, that they'd be the best foil for the Cavs. They didn't get there.
Yeah,
and so they didn't meet expectations for me, so I'm going with Giannis. John Wall is obviously the biggest superstar of these 4.
Yeah.
He still is. But Giannis is just a special guy. That's this breakout title, I don't know what it really means, but I just like it as a guy who, we don't know what the heck he's going to be.
Oh, the sky
is
the limit. But John Wall, look, 27, 10, and 4 in the 13 games. He had the massive, let's not forget, the 42 and 8 game in Game 6 against the Hawks, which included the game winner. I get that maybe a huge knock against him is in Game 7 against the Celtics. He missed his last 11 shots in the final 19 minutes.
Yeah.
He went ice cold at the wrong time.
But they weren't in Game 7 if it wasn't for him.
That's exactly right. It comes down to
That's
Giannis
what's disappointing
or
to me.
John Wall.
I thought they'd get there.
They should have gotten past the Celtics, I think.
Okay. All right, Trey, what's the answer?
Oh, I'm with you, Skeets. It's John Wall. He was
I
the
think
second
so.
best player in the East for most of the playoffs, and I got to give him a shout out. Excellent trash talk. I love seeing that trash talk. But our next category is funniest presser, and here are the nominees.
You know, I know Pop's got pedigree and I'm a young rookie, but they're not going to rook us. Take that for data.
We playing smaller and we playing Draymond at the 5.
I don't know what those sounds are.
Yeah, that thing's shaking a little bit, buddy.
What happened on that Gobert kerfuffle at the end?
That is a word right there.
I didn't even hear what you said. What'd you say?
Kerfluffle.
Great job, bro.
That is strong.
But no, it shocked me because he said, you looked up and said, no, from garbage. I got 40 points. I'm like, that's nice. It took 34 shots to get it. I mean, no, I'm not up here trying to bash anybody, but I mean, you know, men lie, women lie, but the numbers don't.
He was talking about he was first team all defense, but I didn't know what the hell he was talking about because I had 42 at the time. The series, you know, I don't know what he talking about. Maybe he was dreaming of some. I don't know. Sorry, excuse my cuss word, but I don't know what he was talking about. But I guess he wanted to be first team all defense or something. Maybe he was dreaming about it.
Those are the nominees for funniest presser of the playoffs, guys. What you got?
Oh, this is tough.
I think it's easy.
Which one?
Take that for data.
Okay.
Has to be.
Okay.
T-shirt was made out of it. It was memed everywhere.
Yeah.
And they went out and won the next game because it cost him 25 grand.
Yeah.
But I think it has to be David Fisdale. It's just the way it built up to that as well. He didn't really know where he was going in that press conference. He was so angry, and then he just storms off with that great comment, and we're never going to forget that.
Yeah, it joins sort of like your all-time press conference moments of like Jim Morrow with the playoffs and the Mike Gundy, I'm a man, I'm 40.
Sure.
And the we talking about practice, Iverson, of course. Yeah, okay, you've talked me into it. It's Fisdale.
Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. It's a great
It's
line,
good.
though.
It is good, but it's not take that for data.
That's
Trey,
true.
what's the winner?
KD and the air conditioner.
No!
Easily.
No!
That thing's shaking a little bit, buddy. Got the biggest pop in the studio from the crew and from you guys. No doubt it's KD.
Okay. Well, we got to take a break, but when we return, we'll continue handing out the postseason hardware, including the dunk of the playoffs. No shortage of nominees when it comes to this one. Come on back. Welcome back to the starters, where we're playing a little What You Got Playoff Awards edition. Let's continue with the awards. Trey, next one.
Our next category is Dunk of the Playoffs, and here are the nominees. LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers finished off an off-the-glass oop 3 minutes into the Cavs' second-round series with the Raptors. LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers crushed one on JaVale McGee's head just a few seconds after JaVale had a big dunk of his own. Whew. It's nasty. LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers threw himself an alley-oop off the backboard in a finals game, and he was just freelancing. And LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers dunked on Kevin Durant, got hit in the face, and didn't get a foul call, but it doesn't matter because it's LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Guys, those are your nominees for Dunk of the Playoffs. What you got?
We can't be wrong with this
It's LeBron James.
Well, yeah, which one? Which one you going?
I think it's the off the backboard to himself during Game 4 against the Golden State Warriors
In
at
the
the
finals.
finals there, because it was spontaneous and it was like he didn't really know what to do, and he had just enough time to say, well, I'm going to throw it off the backboard and I don't care who's there, I'm just going up to dunk it myself. They were all incredible dunks, but that one for me was just the most special one, I think, that stood out.
We should have got the LeBron James kid to announce the nominees. LeBron James. LeBron James.
You think it's that one?
Yes, it's the middle of a finals game. Yeah.
It's not an all-star game.
Yeah. This is ridiculous. This is just simply put, it's
He dunks on his
ridiculous.
own guy,
Yeah,
too.
and Durant there as well. I mean, it's not like that's just nobody. I mean, he's...
Earlier in the playoffs, I would have gone with against the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
Game 1 of a playoff series, 3 minutes in, and we're already clowning these guys.
I think it is that one. Because all year we tried, especially as Raptors fans, to try and talk ourselves into the idea of, hey, maybe the Raps have retooled here, adding Ibaka and Tucker.
No.
Hey, maybe they can challenge
Well,
LeBron
Tucker
and
wasn't
Cass.
on the floor. That's what happened.
Well, yeah, I guess. But it took 3 minutes. It took 3 minutes for you and I, Taz, to be, as Raptors fans, nope, not a chance of winning this series. He's telling his guy to throw it off the glass in traffic.
Yep.
And finishes it with the left hand. So
Can't disagree.
yeah, I mean, those were all awesome. I guess I'll go that one. Lee's going to go the other one. What's the answer here, Trey?
Oh, come on, this one's easy. LeBron to himself off the backboard in a finals game?
Yeah, it's
That's
pretty
his
cool.
equivalent of the Michael Jordan switch hands layup. It's going to go down in history,
All
but
right, I like it.
moving on. Our next category is Best Playoff Performance. The nominees are LeBron James, who scored 39 points in 36 minutes during a Game 2 win against the Raptors. Isaiah Thomas scored a league playoff high 53 in a win over the Wizards in Game 2 of their series. Kyrie Irving went for 42 points, including 21 in the third quarter, and a comeback win over the Celtics in Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And Kevin Durant helped win his Finals MVP with 33, 13, 6, 5, and 3 in a Game 2 Finals win over the Cavs. Those are the nominees for Best Playoff Performance, guys. What you got?
Oh, man, this is tough. I like that we picked, or the nominees are all teams or games that they won the game. Because there was some massive lines from your Westbrooks and Hardens and so on, that some of them came in a loss. I'm going to go with Isaiah Thomas, though, the 53 points against the Wizards, because not only is it impressive to score 53 points under any circumstance, but what he was going through, both personally and medically, for that matter, it makes it even more impressive because, it occurred on the same day as his late sister's birthday, who had tragically passed away, a couple weeks prior.
Yep.
And then it came a game after he lost the tooth and had like 6 hours of dental surgery. I mean, all of that going on, and he still goes out there and puts up, again, the playoff high, at least for this season, in 53. I'll go with IT, especially in the win.
I'm a little biased towards Kyrie Irving in this case because I love watching him when he gets really hot, and he had to do that against the Celtics because they just came off a loss, remember, and we thought perhaps the Celtics felt some confidence. LeBron got in foul trouble, and the question was, who was going to step up for the Cavs? And it was Kyrie Irving, and he did everything. The layups, the fancy moves, the step backs, the jump shots. He's incredible when he gets going, when he gets red hot like that. 15 for 22, hit the 4 threes, steered the Cavs home to victory, and it just sort of showed everyone, hey, Kyrie, he can carry a team when he needs to, and I think he did that really well that night.
I don't know what the correct answer is going to be, but let's give a quick shout out to Kevin Durant. His finals MVP, he almost had a 5x5 in an NBA Finals game because he was putting forth not just the O, he's the best scorer in the world, but the defense as well. 5 blocks and 3 steals.
We're torn on this one. Trey, what's the answer?
I'm actually with you, Skeets. I think it's Isaiah Thomas. He got his career high on the day his sister would have turned 23. That was amazing. Very inspiring. But our next category is the Still God Award for the oldies. Vince Carter averaged 9 points per game and started 6 games. Manu Ginobili scored just 6 a game, but still made a whole bunch of Manu plays. Joe Johnson led all the oldies in scoring with 13 per game. And Nene shot an absurd 71% from the field while scoring 10 a game. Guys, those are your nominees for the Still Got It Award. And as you guys all qualify as old guys, what you got?
It's Manu for me. It didn't start off too well. He didn't score in his first 4 games, but it ended really well. He started his last game. In those last couple of games against the Golden State Warriors, he was averaging 14 points on 59% shooting. But we, of course, remember Manu for his incredible heroics against the Rockets in Game 5. First, it was that dunk out of nowhere, the classic Manu. And it was something that we hadn't seen for a long time. And then, of course, the block at the end. It's basically a game-winning or game-saving block, however you want to call it, on James Harden. It was classic Manu. Look, he's obviously not the same player he was, but he can still produce those incredible Manu moments.
These guys all had incredible showings. They were all surprising, but I agree that Manu was the most surprising, especially after last year. Just wasn't sure what we were going to get out of Manu Ginobili. He had a 21-point performance in the Western Conference Finals. That's some special stuff from an old man who's going to be, 40. Sorry, Lee. Who's going to be 40
Are you upset
very
you're not
soon.
a nominee in this?
Yeah, I played in the finals.
Exactly. I go Joe Johnson. He gave us a game winner there in the first round.
Yeah.
He was maybe the best player at times in that series against the Clippers. But yeah, you can't disagree with Ginobili as well. Trey, what's the answer?
I agree. Joe Johnson had that game winner in Game 1 against the Clips. Also 13 in the 4th in Game 4. He won 2 games in the playoffs this year. Anyways, our next category is funniest moment of the playoffs. Your nominees. Greg Popovich hit the turbo boosters and sprinted down a hallway when he was spotted by a cameraman during the Spurs' first-round series. After John Wall hit a game winner against the Celtics, a time-traveling Albert Einstein was spotted in the crowd at the Verizon Center. Rihanna showed up for Game 1 of the Finals, and that was enough to distract Jeff Van Gundy from a huge LeBron dunk.
Tristan Thompson finds James. I don't know about this, but Rihanna just walked in front of me. Are you kidding me?
And Kevin Durant celebrated his first finals win by trying to stone cold a couple of beers and having the beers no-sell his stunner. And then he finally takes a sip and had to spit it out. Guys, those are the nominees for funniest moment of the playoffs. What you got?
That was some great stuff right there. I'm going with Rihanna, though, because it didn't just stop there. She didn't just distract Jeff Van Gundy. A lot of the time you see celebrities sit in the front row, they don't do anything. She played the bad guy or the bad girl Riri and got everyone to notice who she was yelling at, who she was cheering.
Yeah, it was
she
her
got
game.
in LeBron's, she bowed to LeBron, she got in Durant's face.
Yeah.
Talking
she was
trash to
incredible.
him while he
Yeah,
shot free
Rihanna's
throws.
great, but we saw Albert Einstein in the 2017 playoffs, so I go Einstein. Lee, quickly.
Einstein.
All right, Trey, what's the answer?
Well, I'm going with Greg Popovich.
Oh.
Usually he's just being mean to people. This time he actually made a joke. I love it. I love jokes.
Let's hear what the people agree or disagree. Let us know on Twitter, #TheStarters. When we come back, we're going to revisit some of Trey and Lee's best work at covering this year's NBA Finals. So don't go anywhere. You're watching the Starters.
What should we call Cavs Warriors 3?
The decision.
The decision? I think that might already be related to LeBron James a little bit.
I'm very, very excited to be joined by the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver. Adam, thank you very much for your time.
I'm pleased to be here, but I don't understand why I don't get the full complement of starters.
LeBron a mission.
LeBron a mission?
No, like abomination, like LeBronation.
LeBronation. It is hard to say.
Those 10:30 tip-offs on the West Coast are just killers. What about this? No game tips off later than 8 p.m. Eastern time.
I'm up late at night, so I'm truly a Western Conference expert. My issue is when the Western Conference game clock goes off at roughly 1 a.m. Eastern, I'm sitting there thinking, now what? I'm watching reruns of the starters on NBA TV.
What fast food do you miss the most?
Big Macs.
What about if I can get a selfie with you for my own personal account? Because people won't believe it otherwise.
1, 2, 3. I hate cold sandwiches.
Cold sandwiches, that seems like they're around everywhere, though.
Well, I'm not consuming.
Not for you.
Not for me.
When it comes to changing diapers, you got the long arms, you got the long hands. How beneficial is that for you, changing a diaper for a little baby girl?
I can reach from all different places. So.
Oh, guys, I might get blown off here. Who knows what's going to happen? San Francisco, am I right?
Even when she's wriggling around there and you can still hold her down and still get the diaper out, you don't have any spillages?
No, not yet. I don't want to jinx myself, though. It's still early in the game.
Woody and Buzz Lightyear.
I'm Buzz. I'll be Buzz.
Buzz is maybe cooler. Woody, kind of the calm guy, I suppose.
That's it. I am the steady one.
What would you be prepared to sacrifice in order to get a win for the Cavs tonight?
My wife.
I hope she's not watching.
She may be, but oh well.
Who's Netflix? Who's chill?
There we go. He's Netflix, I'm chill.
I would sacrifice my own family to see the Cavs win. I'm telling you that right now. I would sacrifice my own family. Do you believe me?
I do believe you, yeah.
Good. Good, you better believe me.
Y'all got to come to the finals, man, as a team.
Yes.
Y'all can't be flying this one Australian dude up here.
Oh, beautiful.
There you are.
It's fun.
It's really fun.
He's not nearly as much as fun as you Canadians.
You're part of the Big Four over at Food Network. Who do they correspond with on the Big Four of the Warriors? Gonna guess you're Draymond, but that's just a guess.
Why am I Draymond? I mean, I'll take that as a compliment all day long.
Party's at Harlan tonight. So where we at?
What time do you think you'll be going to bed?
Bad. What's that?
We're 16-1, but trust me, it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of hits and criticisms, but it was worth it, though.
That's why you say nothing easy?
Nothing easy, baby!
Great work, guys. All right, one more break. When we return, we'll start looking ahead to next week's NBA draft. The 2017 NBA draft takes place on Thursday, June 22nd in Brooklyn, New York. Fultz, Ball, Fox are among the top players available in this year's draft, with the Celtics holding the top pick, followed by the Lakers and Sixers. NBA TV coverage begins at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Thursday. We're back on the Friday to recap it all, 7 p.m. Eastern. The starters NBA draft coverage. Hopefully we'll get some trades happening. There'll be some rumors, no doubt, so we'll see you then.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next Friday. And remember, basketball is slowing down, and so are the starters.
Brace the night, people. Brace the week. We'll see you Friday.